everybody, it's JT Sports and back to you guys with another video. This video I'm here with my Auburn versus Florida Week 6 college football preview and prediction. I'm going to be previewing this matchup and give my prediction for who will win this game. And before I begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I upload NFL videos and college football videos daily. So, number 7 Auburn on the road at number 10 Florida. This is my game of the week. And I've been waiting a very long time for this matchup. Now, Florida, they should be coming into this game fairly healthy despite not having Felipe Franks. Other than Felipe Franks not playing, being out for the season. CJ Henderson's supposed to be ready to go. Zuniga's supposed to be ready to go. So I think Florida, for the most part, should be fairly healthy going into this game. And, I mean, Florida's secondary is going to be a big key in this game against true freshman quarterback Bo Nix. Now, a lot of people ask me every week, how do I feel about Bo Nix? And before last week, I keep on telling people I don't trust him. I don't trust him that much. I mean, against Oregon, he didn't really have to do that much to win the game because in the second half, they basically just pounded the rock against Oregon's defense eventually just got tired and ended up taking advantage of it, although he did make a nice throw to win the game for Auburn. Then against Texas A&M, he didn't really have to really do that much. But against last week versus Mississippi State, he was 16 of 21, threw for 335 pass yards, threw 2 passing touchdowns, ran for 1 touchdown, and no picks. So, I mean, last week versus Mississippi State, his performance really changed my outlook on him. Now I have a little bit more confidence in Bo Nix going into this game versus what I had in him going into this game last week because of his performance against Mississippi State. Now, Mississippi State, I mean, although they are going through a little bit of a losing streak right now, I do think that this Mississippi State team is a pretty solid program for the most part, and a pretty solid team. So the fact that he was able to do what he did, completing 16 out of 21 out of his passes, threw for 335 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, ran for a touchdown. I mean, that performance alone, it didn't really completely sold me on Bo Nix, but it has increased my confidence in Bo Nix. Because if you was to ask me how would I feel about Bo Nix going into this game versus Florida a week prior before Auburn played Mississippi State, and I tell you, I would have said that Bo Nix is still going to struggle. Didn't really trust him that much, but with that performance that he had versus Mississippi State, I trust him a lot more now in this matchup. Now, Auburn, the way they beat Mississippi State, I mean, they just absolutely grounded and pounded the soul out of Mississippi State. Mississippi State could not stop the run for anything. And then after Mississippi State couldn't stop the run, I mean, I guess their defense just got gas. I don't know what it was, but Auburn was just absolutely pounding the rock on Mississippi State. And then after that, I mean, Auburn just started doing whatever they wanted to. Bo Nix just started terrorizing them through the air. So, I mean, this Auburn offense is starting to it's getting better as we progress throughout the season. Bo Nix is getting better as we progress throughout the season, but this is probably going to be the best defense they probably have played so far. And I probably think that this probably will be the best defense that Auburn will face all this season. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be all right, they do play Alabama, you know that, right? But Alabama's defense hasn't really been that good. This is the same Alabama defense that allowed Ole Miss to put 31 on them. So this isn't the traditional Alabama defense we're accustomed to seeing. So I think that Florida is probably going to be the best team that Auburn faces on the defense side of the ball. And with CJ Henderson, you got Marco Wilson there. I mean, this is arguably one of the best secondaries in college football. So Bo Nix is going to get tested in this game. On Florida, they also can get after the passer as well. You got Zuniga there. You got a couple of guys on Florida's defensive line. A couple of linebackers that can get after the passer as well. So, I mean, this is going to be a very big test for this Auburn offense, and I do think that Florida's probably going to be the best team that Auburn plays defensively out of all the opponents that they're going to end up playing so far this season. And for Florida, I mean, you got Kyle Trask. I mean, this Florida offensive line, it's a little bit of a question mark, especially going against the best defensive line in all of college football. I mean, you can't even debate that at this point. Auburn has the best defensive line in all of football. I have never seen a defensive line so dominant since Clemson's defensive line the last season when they had Cleveland Farrell, They had Cleveland Farrell, they had Williams. I mean, they had a lot of guys on that defensive line last year. Christian Wilkins, who can all get after the passer, who were really athletic. They were very fast when it came to diagnosing plays and things like that. And I think this Auburn defensive line is pretty good. And I'm not saying they're as good as what Clemson defensive line was last year. I mean, Clemson had like 3 first rounders on that defensive line that went in the first round of the NFL draft last season. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying they're pretty good, man. They're just a couple of notches down from last year's defensive line for Clemson. So, I mean, this Auburn defensive line, man, is going to cause some havoc for Florida up front. If Florida can't figure out a way to stop these guys. Because this defensive line from Auburn, I mean, they're explosive, they're fast, they're quick diagnosing plays. I mean, Florida is going to have a very hard time trying to find a way to stop this defensive line for Clemson. And I mean, when you have a guy like Kyle Trask back there who's a little bit inexperienced at quarterback, that's going to cause a little bit of issues as well, because he could end up pressing the ball a little bit. So I mean, it's just this defensive line for Auburn against this off the line for Florida that has been a little bit of a question mark so far this season. I mean, you like the matchup. If you're an Auburn fan, you feel pretty confident about your defensive line versus Florida's offensive line. So, looking at my keys to victory, what each of these teams is doing able to have a chance of winning this game. If you're Florida, you have to be able to stop the run. Florida has to be able to stop the run. That's basically what Auburn has been doing so far this season. It's just they just ground and pound you, and then they use the run game to set up the passing game, which is what Auburn does, which is what I've been noticing so far. So if you're Florida, you have to be able to stop the run game, and then when you stop the run game, that goes into my next point: is force Bo Nix to throw from inside the pocket. If you're Florida, I'd rather have Bo Nix try to beat me through the air than run the football and let Auburn dictate the game by just running the football. Because listen, you have C.J. Henderson, Marco Wilson, you have arguably the best secondary in all of college football. So if you have one of the best secondaries in all of college football, then I feel pretty good about my chances of asking Bo Nix to go back there and asking Bo Nix to throw the ball on the secondary, with Marco Wilson and C.J. Henderson now coming back being fully healthy for this game. So Bo Nix going against this secondary, if you're Florida's defensive coordinator, I feel pretty good about the matchup. I'd rather have Auburn rely on Bo Nix to win the game than just letting Auburn just run the football down your throat, because that's pretty much what Auburn does. They use the run game to set up the passing game, which is what I noticed. So force Bo Nix to run the game from inside the pocket and force him to make throws and tough throws versus what's supposed to be one of the best secondaries in all of college football, and C.J. Henderson and Marco Wilson. So force Bo Nix to beat your corners and beat your safeties throwing the football from inside the pocket. And the last thing that they need to do is they need to protect the quarterback. They need to protect Kyle Trask. They need to protect Emory Jones. Now, Emory Jones, head coach Dan Mullen a couple of weeks ago when Felipe got injured said that Emory Jones was going to get a little bit of playing time as well, but we haven't really seen a lot of Emory. But either way, Florida's going to have to be able to protect whoever's going to be playing quarterback. Kyle Trask will be a starter, not saying that, but they're going to have to be able to protect the QB. And I mean, that's a tough challenge, because this Florida offensive line has been a little bit of a question mark going into this season, and they still have struggled at points during this season. And I mean, against this Auburn defensive line, man, they're going to have to show up, and they're going to have to be able to protect Kyle Trask, because if not, there's going to be a very long game for Florida if they're not going to be able to protect Kyle Trask. Now, what Auburn has to do in able to win this game is you got to run the football. Now, I know Bo Nix had a very good game against Mississippi State, but this is the best defense that Auburn has played. This is probably the best defense that Auburn will probably end up playing, in my opinion. I think Florida probably has the best defense out of all the teams that Auburn will potentially end up playing. And just because they have a good secondary, a great secondary, actually one of the best secondaries in the country with C.J. Henderson and Marco Wilson. And you also have Zubair Zuniga, who get after the passer as well. So if you're Auburn, you have to be able to run the football. you don't really want to ask Bo Nix to win the game throwing the football versus a very good secondary. So if I'm Auburn, I want to run the football. I want to control time possession. I want to tire out Florida's pass rushers. I want to get them tired out. And then later on, after halftime in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, early in the fourth, that's when you can take some shots down the field because you'll have these pass rushers tired out. And this secondary will probably be playing run a little bit more, so they'll probably be looking for it, trying to stop the run a little bit more, so you can catch them knacking, get a couple of big plays in the passing game, and things like that. But Auburn has to be able to run the football because this is a very good secondary for Florida. Next thing they need to do is they need to get pressure on Kyle Trask. And Kyle Trask, this is a guy who people keep on saying this. I don't know how true this is, but Kyle Trask hasn't really had a lot of experience playing that quarterback position. So if you're Auburn, you want to throw a couple of looks at him, you want to blitz him, and you got to get pressure on him and force him pressing. And when you get pressure on him, you got a good chance to make him throw interceptions or fumbling the football or turn the ball over. So you got to get pressure on Kyle Trask. And the last thing that Auburn needs to do is they need to force turnovers. They need to get the ball back to the offense. And I think if Auburn goes up early on Florida, then I think this game could end up being a little bit of a hassle for Florida, because I think whichever team ends up, if a team ends up getting down by 3 scores at any point in the game, then I think the team that's up has a good chance of winning this game. So the team I'm going with to win this game, I'm going to go with Auburn to win this game. Now, a week ago, before I saw what Bo Nix did against Mississippi State, I would have took Florida. But now I saw what Bo Nix did against Mississippi State, and I trust Bo Nix enough that he's going to be able to make a couple of throws to win this game. And I just don't think that Florida's offense is going to be able to really do a lot versus Auburn's defense, specifically up front, because Florida's offensive line isn't really that good, and against probably the best defensive line in the nation, I think Florida's going to struggle. I think Kyle Trask is going to end up taking a lot of hits. He's going to take a beating back there. He's going to get sacked a lot of times. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting sacked 7 times this game. And when he gets sacked, when he gets pressured, he's probably going to force the ball, and he's going to end up turning the football over. So I just think Auburn ends up winning this game. Although this game is on the road at Florida, I'm going to take Auburn to win this game. I think Auburn wins this game by a pretty solid margin. I'll take Auburn 27-17. So that's my final score prediction. I have Auburn win this game 27-17. So let me know who you guys think is going to win this game down in the comment section down below. Also make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos. And thanks for watching.